Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. You know that expression, I think it's like a picture speaks 1,000 words or something like that. Well, I'm going to show you. We have a meeting between the Hungarians and the Ukrainians on the territories of Ukraine. So Peter Szijjártó, who is the foreign minister of Hungary, fantastic guy, meets his counterpart, Kuleba. And Kuleba is going to meet him, and they already met, somewhere in Zakarpattia, close to Hungary. Problem is, with the foreign minister, so if you have a foreign minister, meet another foreign minister, correct? A president means a president, usually, right? Well, the problem is, this guy, Yermak, who's Zelensky Stein, he came with the foreign minister. You know who Yermak is? I will show you pictures, but make sure you don't get scared. So look into this Yermak. I found an article a while ago I think it was Sputnik or Russia Today, where they were talking about who Yermak really is, or information about the guy. It was too long. I would have had a half an hour video, which I can go hours, but I didn't want to. It was too long. Nevertheless, I will show you a picture with this meeting between Yermak, who is the chief of the presidential office. So is the chief of staff, let's say, of Zelensky. Do you know who's the American White House chief of staff? I didn't know. I found out a while ago, and I don't even know his name. Zeiss. Have you ever heard his name, or he's involved in anything, in any foreign anything? And if I know, he traveled to Ukraine, or he traveled to Afghanistan, or he traveled to Europe, if he traveled to Saudi Arabia, or anywhere. The chief of staff of the White House has not done anything that we are told. By the way, he's a Zelensky Stein too. All right. So Yermak is the chief of staff of Zelensky, the original Zelensky Stein. Zeitz is also Zelensky Stein in United States of America, as is the foreign minister of United States of America, whose name is Blinken, right? Together with Victoria Nuland and so on. So let me show you this meeting between the great Peter Szijjártó of Hungary, prime minister, with Kuleba, the round-headed guy, foreign minister of Ukraine, plus Mr. Yermak, who has nothing to fucking do in that meeting. Why is he there? Because he's in charge. And I'm going to show you the picture, and you're going to say, who is Szijjártó talking to? Here it is. Article, Ukrinform. Remember, they met in, right there. And I'm going to take my face out. Right there. So this is Peter Szijjártó right here, Hungarian. This is Kuleba. This is the foreign minister. So this guy meets this guy. Who is in charge? Who's facing whom? And who's sitting over there with his hands together like a boy called in the, in the principal's office? Who is extra? This guy is extra. They brought him here just to be there. It was between this guy and this guy. These two. Not that guy. You can say whatever you want. Look, I looked to see if the chairs, the chairs meet. And it's right there. They're face. And that guy is sidelined somewhere. Now you tell me this is not the guy in charge here? He's the guy in charge. This guy talks to this guy. The other guy's like, what am I doing here? Okay, so he says, negotiations between Kuleba, Yermak, and Szijjártó lasted more than 6 hours. It's Kuleba. Kuleba is that round-headed. He could have stayed home. Yermak is in charge. So let me bring my melanin. I mean, if you think something else, I don't know. I mean, it's obvious. Look at that. Look at the body language. Now, who's Yermak? This is Yermak right here. And every time I see Yermak, I confess that he reminds me, I mean, this was like he was younger, and this is Yermak a little bit older. So this is Yermak younger, this is Yermak older. That's how I see it. Obviously, this is Wayne Stein, but he's also Zelensky Stein. So, but this guy, every time I see this guy, really, look at other pictures. I see it as this guy. Really, really bad. Anyway, it's up to you to see. Now, who is the, how do you call him? The chief of staff. Here it is. Zelensky Stein, right there. This is a Zelensky Stein like the other two right here, okay? But this is a foreign, is a chief of staff right here. Now you can look right here, actually. White House Chief of Staff incumbent. That means he's the one in charge. And yes, he's there. You can look at his early life and education right there. You can go and check. But there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a coincidence, as I always say. Don't even dare. Now let's see what's going on here. The negotiations between these guys are pushing Dmytro Kuleba as being no, Kuleba was out. Do you think that this guy when he spoke with Kuleba just slid his chair that way? And besides, it seems to me, now that I know, look closer, right there next to Giarto, there's another person, because I can see his little raccoon hands on the table, on the side of the table over there. So, and he's right here. So it's another guy behind him. But you see, you don't find out who the other guy is. Isn't that a coincidence? So we find out about Kuleba, Yermak, and Giarto. Who is the fourth guy? And the fourth guy faces the foreign minister. Why? This guy should not have been there, but he's everywhere. He was at Davos. He took Zelensky's place over there until Zelensky showed up. He was in charge. Don't you think the prime minister should be? The prime minister is going to end up in the World Bank. Denis Shmyhal, another Zelensky sign. He's going to end up at International Monetary Fund or the bank, World Bank. I guarantee you that. If the Russians don't, So let's go back. Who's the fourth one? I would like to know. Let's see. Maybe they tell us. All right. And they met here. He said, Minister. Oh, you don't even know? No, it says Dmitry Kuleba, the president of Ukraine. I said, what? Head of the office of the president of Ukraine. That is this guy right here, Weiss, whatever his name is, Zeiss. Okay. And Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Hungary, Peter Giarto. Now, I assume that the guy next to them is the translator. Otherwise, they would have definitely put him. And I don't think these guys speak each other's language. I know Giarto speaks English. I know. And probably the other two will crack some English as well. But I know he does. Well, I watched a lot of interviews with him. That's why I know he's a tough guy. So it lasted more than 6 hours. 6 hours and 10 minutes. That's how long the talks between Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba. I don't think he had anything to say. He maybe just brought the coffee in and water if these guys need it. Head of the President's office, Andriy Yermak, who is this beautiful guy over there. And Hungarian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade, Peter Giarto, lasted in Uzhhorod, the Foreign Minister said. Now, you're not going to meet anybody else. You're not going to have another word here of any other name. And that's it. That's the end of the article. So, my friends, Yermak, I noticed Yermak being very, very active for some time. Yermak, some say, is Zelensky's handler, the person who really knows something about some people. It would be like Trotsky. All right, something like that. Something like Trotsky. I'm sorry. Lev Bronstein. He was a Zelensky Stein as well. How many Romanians do you know like that? I guarantee you 0. Why? Maybe we're dumbasses or something? We're not as good? Could that be? No, you can't say that because that would be very politically correct. But I think here they will just, close an eye. How many French do you know like that? Even in France, the foreign minister of France is also Zelensky Stein. Half Algerian. Oh, man. Oh, defense minister of Great Britain, Mr. Shaps. Oh, don't mention his name. And so on, my friends, so on. How many Romanians you know? I guarantee you 0, because I don't know. And I should know a little bit more about the Romanian community. But it seems like we're good as, I don't know, pipe layers, construction workers, truck drivers, things like this, because it seems like, I'm kidding, right? So here is, my friends, picture speaks 1,000 words. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Just every time you hear Yermak's name somewhere, again, I'm looking at a cadaver here with the light. Every time you're going to see Yermak somewhere, think about the American counterpart, Mr. Zeiss, or whatever his name is, the chief of staff, and tell me if you see him in the same position wherever he goes. And you will not. I can guarantee you. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.